From the Cadet Natatorium here at the United States Air Force Academy, it is day number 1 of the Rare Air Invite and game number 3 for the Air Force Academy Falcons. They're 2-0. They won their league opener on the WWPA against Polo. Joining me in the broadcast booth is a senior. Larson McCarry. I thought I was getting a look from our broadcast team like, you're not on. Larson, a little bit about the first 2 games, how you've seen them, and how the team has been playing in this tournament. It's been a long 2 weeks, really.
It really has been, yeah. We started off going a little bit slow this first game, and in the first quarter, it was pretty even. But then once we got a little bit more warmed up, we pulled ahead, and it was a great rest of the game. Second game, same thing. We played great, put them away early, and it was just all around a great game, so let's hope for the best again.
Long Island University, this is their first year for men's water polo, but they're not a stranger to the sport as their women's team has been around for a long time. For the Air Force Academy Falcons, Joe Sabo gets the start in the goal. Matthew Kwan, Thomas Newell, Fisher Pruitt, Joey Shell, Colin Chase, and Trevor Zimlich. We're getting a whole brand new look. A lot of freshmen in this one.
Oh yeah, it'll be a good one.
Larson, when you're a freshman, you obviously have to make adjustments to D1 to Division I polo. What's the biggest adjustment that these young people have to make, as you see it?
I think it would be the speed of the game here, because in high school, like it's fast, it's good, but as soon as we start going into the college realm, it starts speeding up quite a bit more, and so for the freshmen, it's definitely hard to adapt for the first couple games. So it's good to get them in and let them play right now.
Gabby Juarez is the head coach for the Long Island University Sharks, as we mentioned, their first foray into men's water polo. She was a standout at UCLA, so she's quite familiar with how the game is played. We have an interesting tie-in with the Sharks and one of your team managers, Amy LeClaire's brother, Ben. He'll be wearing the number 13 cap, is playing for LIU.
Yep, I hope she's still cheering for us, though.
Well, I think she is. I don't know where she. Oh, she's right across there. I thought maybe she'd be on camera there and doing a little filming. So here we go with the opening period. This will be the last game of the first day, and then the Falcons will be taking Augustana College on at a rematch here at LIU. I'm probably going to be doing a lot of looking down at my roster here because this is a freshman team. And I think one of the thing with Air Force, Larson, you have got, from what I have seen so far, a very good group of freshmen and underclassmen coming up.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, on our starting lineup, we usually start 2 or 3. I mean, with Luca in the goal right now due to AJ's injury. Yeah, he's doing well. Jackson Carter's doing extremely well. And Colin Chase is doing amazing, too. And here's
no
Fisher.
Score. There's another stop. And so the Long Island University Sharks. I didn't get that last score. I guess wait a minute, there's something not quite right here. So Matthew Kwan, as we have a battle for the goalie, telling everybody to just settle down.
Yeah, as the name would suggest, Rare Air, this is, I believe, their second or third game as well today, so they are feeling it.
Ethan Zirk is the man that will be in the goal for the Sharks. There's a shot. That's punched high in the air, and it goes in the goal.
Yeah, great block by Joe Sabo.
Yes, it was. Joe got a little bit of playing time last week in the tournament. And so it's awful nice to be able to have all of your goalies play because it shows that you got a lot of depth. And pretty good lineup up there.
Absolutely.
Flip it over. Oh. There's a shot.
Great score by Matthew Kwan, number 11.
So Kwan gets the Falcons on the board. We're tied at 1 here in the first period, 4 minutes and 31 seconds. Kind of pick up the lineup as we go. A lot of people will be sitting this one out. You'll be sitting out. Pretty much the seniors are sitting this one out, I believe. Grant will not be playing. So give everybody a rest for tomorrow, right?
Yeah. Me, Grant, Dylan, and junior Ian Christie is also not playing.
Logan Morgan with a shot. That hits the post. Had a chance to meet Joe Sabo's parents this weekend. It's always nice to meet the parents. That's one of the nice perks about this job. Getting a chance to meet the families. Air Force, nice feed down low. Turnover will go to the Sharks. Larson, how tired is this team after having all those games last week and then another tournament? How tired is this team realistically?
I would say we ourselves, we're used to it. So, we've been playing for the last several weekends, many games, 4+ almost every weekend. So we've gotten kind of used to it. I cannot speak for the Long Island Sharks, but judging by the fact that they are mostly at sea level, this is definitely tough for them.
Yeah, they come up about 7,000 feet from where they are in Long Island, New York. They've already played 2 games today, so Augustana beat them in the opener, and I think Biola took them down. So, and as we look over to the bench, they don't have a lot of depth. They've got 3 people on the bench, so everybody will play, obviously.
Oh yeah, when I watched the first game of the Long Island Sharks, they were subbing everybody constantly.
And here come the Falcons on the attack. Do they have a look? Nice knock away by the goalie, Zink.
Close shot for Colin Chase there.
Zink with, I think, his second save of the match. So the Sharks will set up and try to be patient. We're going to get a timeout called, and it will come from Long Island University as Coach Juarez wants to have a chat with her Charges there. 2:40 left to play in period number 1, tied at 1. You're watching Air Force Water Polo on Falcon Vision. Back at the Cadet Natatorium, we're in the first period. 2 minutes and 40 seconds left to go. I'm Jeffrey Orman, along with Senior Larson McCarroll of the Air Force Academy water polo team. Larson getting a breather tonight. So what do? They send him up here with us. I think the Air Force Academy, Larson's going to get the reputation of training officers for second lieutenants and being broadcasters. We've had about 3 players up here.
Definitely fun to come up here with you.
There's a block. Nice play by Joe Sabo. There's one of our broadcasters, too.
Here we have Trevor Zimlick with the ball. Might look for a pass here with Jake. And,
wide left. 1-1 is the score. 2:01 left to play in period number 1 of the Rare Air Invite. I'm guessing, Larson, everybody will be at full strength for Augustana, and then we might have Dylan come up here for the second LIU game.
It sounds like that will be the case.
Backhander.
Great block with that was Ethan Smith, number 19. Put his hand up and caught the elbow of number 8 as he was shooting that backhand.
Ethan is a fourth classman out of Sacramento, California. I'd say it's almost there's a shot and a score. Two to one now in favor of the Falcons. Thomas Newell out of Denver, Colorado, prepped at George Washington High School. George Washington University. There'd be a scoop. I think Thomas also has a goal this year for the Falcons. Thomas also a fourth classman. I think it's kind of interesting as we kind of look at the roster and some of the teams that have been coming in for this tournament, Larson. I mean, we think of water polo as pretty much an East-West Coast game, but we're playing an opponent from the Midwest in Rock Island, Illinois. We've had a team from Arizona, so apparently water polo is expanding a little bit.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that, Jeff. It seems like the sport has been definitely growing. That was Joey Shell, number 17, first goal of the game.
Joey had a couple of scores in the first game.
Yeah, he did. He's a star player on the 7-on-6 plays when we switch goalie caps with Grant. So he'll come in on the 4-5 side, and he's a great, strong lefty with a good shot.
35 seconds left to play in the first period. Falcons with the lead. 28 ticks of the clock. And ball is loose. Scramble for it. Falcons will have it.
Yeah, Fisher Pruitt with the steal there, and great help by number 5, Jake Dixon.
Who's going to get the last shot if indeed that is the case? Six seconds, 5 seconds. Somebody's going to have to fire from almost midcourt and knocked away, and that is going to be it for, well, wait a minute, one second remaining? All right. Well, this will be a catch and shoot. And there it is. At the end of one period of play, the Falcons lead it over the Long Island Sharks by the score of 3-1. You're watching Air Force Water Polo. This is Falcon Vision. Back once again here at the Cadet Natatorium, day number 1 of the Rare Air Invite, game number 3 for the Air Force Academy Falcons. And Dylan Sinclair now joins us in the booth, one of the co-captains for the Air Force Academy Falcons. And Dylan, what a great year to have all this good stuff happening. You're getting a chance, obviously, the class of 23, you all have made an impact, but what about some of these young people that are kind of coming up behind you?
Well, you know, it's really great to see these young guys in action here, especially during this game, see what they can do, see what the future holds. I think it's going to be a bright future.
Certainly, you look at what happened last year, 17 wins, and that was one of the best records you've had. You're going to surpass that this year. And what is the difference, Dylan, as you see it between this year's team and last year's team?
Well, you know, like you said, we've brought in a lot of pretty good talent. We have 2 freshmen starting, and it's just really looking like we're going to have some more wins this year, and it's going to be another great year, and hopefully here on out.
Absolutely. And, of course, going to a new conference, but be nice to finish out in the WWPA and do very, very well. 1-0, as a matter of fact, as they won Biola. So here we go. 3-1 is the score. We're in period number 2. I'm Jeffrey Orm along with Dylan Sinclair. A lot of the seniors are going to be taking a breather in this one, and the freshmen get a look and a chance to get their feet wet, so to speak, with D1 water polo. You know, Larson McNair made a very interesting point. I asked him, what's the biggest difference between, you know, how much of an adjustment does a 4th classman have to make to the sport of water polo? Not only that, but to life on the hill. And he said the speed of the game. It's the speed of the game. It's not even close to what you get in high school.
No, yes, definitely. The speed of the game, the physicality, just opponents in general are bigger, faster, and better than anything you see in high school.
Falcons wearing the dark caps. There's a shot. Nicely blocked by the goalie for Long Island. Ethan Zerd is having a pretty good opening half. We're just underway here in quarter number 2. Joe Sabo being challenged again. And there's a shot, and Joe says, I'm telling you, Joe gets out there, you know, must be the broadcasting part of it. I don't know. I mean,
no, he's doing well. Whenever he's in there, he's doing a good job.
3 goalies on this Air Force Academy team, and Ryan Brown has a luxury, getting his back-to-back blocks by Zinn. This one can't stop this one, though.
It's like a shot by Bruce Kim. Blocked at first, picked it up, didn't quit, and got it to go.
Falcons with a 4-goal run. 5 minutes and 43 seconds left before the first half. Dylan Sinclair along with yours truly, Larson McCarroll, and there's a shot.
Looks like a nice long pass over to 17 in the finish for Long Island. Pardon me, 11.
Lead is now cut in half, 4-2 in favor of the Falcons. I guess when you're a 4th classman, Dylan, you have to get coached a lot, don't you? I mean, there's a system here and you have to play it.
Yes, sir. A lot of changes you got to make. Obviously, we run our water polo in a certain way, and if you're not doing it, coach isn't happy. So if you don't pick up quick, then it's not going to be very beneficial. But a lot of these guys have picked up quick, and like I said before, the future is bright for Air Force Academy water polo.
That puts Long Island behind. Score is 4-3.
Charlie Downey getting the score for the Sharks. 4:44 left to play here in period number 2. Dylan, what do you remember about your first year here at the Air Force Academy, trying to balance your life on the hill, military duties, and also playing water polo here?
It was certainly a challenge, definitely a big change from being in a small town in California to come into United States Air Force Academy. Water polo, 20 hours a week, was very difficult, and then the academics, obviously, very, very difficult. So it was a change for sure. And there's a shot for Bruce Kim going top right corner. Nice catch and shoot by him.
Last 2 goals have been scored by Bruce Kim. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people, Dylan, really understand what you all do here. I mean, we talk about the student athletes, and I'll put the Air Force Academy right there as a perfect example of the true student athlete, not the one that the NCAA defines, but the true student athlete.
Yes, there's a lot of difficult things here. If you're not on your A game at all times, you'll fall behind quickly. I mean, going to 5 classes a day and then coming to 4 hours of practice, it's rough, and then having to go back and do some homework.
I always giggle when they talk about student athletes and the civilian schools. We know better, don't we? I mean, it's...
Yes, we do. I think they can get away with a little bit more than we can.
Yes,
here.
sir, they can.
We got to be on our top of our game.
Falcons leading it by 2. We have 3.5 left to go here in the first half of play.
Looks like an exclusion on number 11, Matthew Kwan. Timeout, LIU.
And we'll take one as well, with the Falcons leading it by the score of 5-3. You're watching Air Force Water Polo on Falcon Vision. Jeffrey Arm along with Dylan Sinclair here at the Cadet Natatorium here at the United States Air Force Academy. And Dylan, as a first-classman, and I think just about everybody in the class, you're starting to count it down, aren't you?
Yes, very much so. Obviously, we all want to graduate, we all want to serve our country, and it's getting here close, so we're itching to do so.
And when you are finished here, you're moving on to?
Aircraft maintenance. We got jobs about a month ago, and I'll be moving on to aircraft maintenance.
Where will you be stationed?
I believe training is in Texas, and then I could really go anywhere with it, so the world's an oyster.
How about Joe Sabo? Another block for Joe. Third classman here at the Academy. Here come the Falcons. They have a chance to extend it 6-3. Trying to get down low. A turn. That one got away. I think that ball just slipped. And it is recovered by the Sharks.
Yeah, it looks like a tough grab for Trevor Zimlick on his back as a lefty over on that side.
Bruce Kim, I think, just slipped away from him a little bit. Recognition Day, when is that here at the Academy, or is that, I think it's just before Christmas, is it not? Or how does that work out?
Recognition for...
The recognition for the fourth class.
So actually this year it's different. It's getting moved. It is in March, usually at the end of March, but it's moving back to April this year.
Oh, all right.
Yes. Our commandant wants a little bit more time for the cadet fourth class to experience training and get them to earn those prop and wings.
So they still have to walk the line, everything in the left hand, and keep the right hand free to salute.
Yes, they do.
Shot and a score.
Looks like a fantastic
How
shot
about
by
Bruce Kim?
Looks like a hat trick for him early in the game. Nice bar in cross cage shot. Looks like he's fighting to prove himself for Coach Brown. Show that he's the real deal.
Well, I'll tell you what, Dylan, he scored the last 3 for Air Force, so not too bad.
Not too bad at all.
Cottonwood Heights, Utah. This is hometown, and the Falcons lead it by the score of 6-3. If you're just joining us for the first time, I'm Jeffrey Orman along with Dylan Sinclair, and it's pretty much an all-freshman lineup out there as Grant Snyder and some of the others are going to take a blow, and the freshmen get a chance to get some sincere playing time. Joe Sabo being a third classman, he's a sophomore.
Yes. Well, one thing I can say is the best thing for them is game experience. In order to compete at this level, you definitely need to be in there as much as possible and, yeah, get this experience. Utmost importance.
Well, and there's a shot and a score.
Shot by number 8, Anglers.
6-4 is the score. Getting some substitutions.
Looks like we're going to be seeing a few upperclassmen getting in the water. We've got a third class, Kato Ham, Cole Copperud, and it looks like Sam De La Cruz getting in there.
Yeah, some of the regulars coming back. I think it's Cole with the ball there. Recovering nicely from a lower extremity injury earlier today. We did have a laugh about that, by the way, just before the game. But there's a shot.
Looks like a nice shot by Kaito Ham. Little near side skip shot.
Kaito Ham makes it a 7-4 score in favor of Air Force. I got to tell you, it has been a joy for me, Dylan, to hang around and listen to some of the repartee between the players, and just, it's interesting. I mean, it's a different thing. I mean, I think athletes, you know, they have a lot of similarities, but you know, when you're talking about where you're going to serve, where you're going to go to flight school, when you're talking about exams, I don't think you hear very much about that in the civilian schools. This is a very unique place.
Yes, and it looks like a shot from Jackson Carter. Nice cross cage, nice extra pass there by Sam De La Cruz to get him open for that shot. Yes, as you were saying, obviously, with how rigorous the academy is, we're always talking about, you know, our next exam, our next military duty. There's plenty of stuff to keep our mind busy during the day.
You got that?
Yeah, but when we're down playing water polo, that should be our only focus, you know?
Would you consider trying to play with a club team or anything after you're done, or are you just going to be focusing on your MOS and that's basically it?
If the opportunity arises, I'll certainly love to stay in shape and play some more water polo, but depending where I am, we'll see if it comes. But I love the game, so I most likely will play it eventually along down the line.
Or maybe coach and get some kids over here. That's the end of the first half of play, with the Air Force Academy leading Long Island University by the score of 8-4. Along with Dylan Sinclair, I'm Jeffrey Orman. You are watching Air Force Academy Water Polo. This is Falcon Vision.
Teddy Roosevelt once said, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, and comes up short again and again, because there is no effort without error or shortcoming, who spends himself in a worthy cause. Do you have grit?"
Space is open to us now, and our eagerness to share its meaning is not governed by the efforts of others.
The essence of the American character is to explore new horizons and to tame new frontiers.
Because of what you have done, the heavens have become a part of man's world.
Back once again here at the Cadet Natatorium.
And we're off.
Jeffrey Orman along with Dylan Sinclair, one of the co-captains for the Air Force Academy water polo team. 8-4, here's the second half sprint.
Looks like Long Island taking the sprint.
And here we go as we have a little banging under down on the right side. Kaido Ham getting worked over a little bit. Long Island trying to cut this thing down to a 3-goal lead.
Looks like Fisher Pruitt guarding the.
Looks like Air Force extending the pressure a little bit. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Boy, they've done that real well this year, haven't they, Dylan?
Yes, one of our main focuses was that we were going to be an all-out press team. High in the lanes, going for steals, pressing, crashing when needed. That was one of our big changes, and so far, it's worked out very well for us.
On the fire of the crowd that
Colin
goes
Chase, just wide of the cage.
wide of the cage. A lot of pressure being put on by the Sharks out there. 8-4 is the score. We are the start of period number 3. Him with 3 goals to lead the Falcons with scoring. Dixon, Shell, Carter, Newell, and Hand each with 1. That's where we are.
Looks great defensive possession by the Falcons. Shot clock ran out of time. It looks like a 2-on-1.
Colin Chase.
And a Colin Chase shot off the crossbar.
AJ's doing a nice job of commentary. All the guys that come up here do a nice job, Dylan. This is great.
Oh, looks like a 3-on-2 for Long Island.
They may have I'm surprised he gave that up. I thought he'd take a shot.
Just didn't like how it looked and decided to work the ball a little bit more, I guess.
And
Over to 2, Logan Morgan.
8 seconds left to go on the shot clock. No problem. Joe Sabo plucks that one out of the air. Here's a feed over to the left side. Shot!
Nice block by Long Island's goalie. As Thomas Newell tries to send that cross cage. Didn't make it go.
We're going to keep an eye on a certain player here for LIU, and that is Ben LeClaire, whose sister is a second classman here at the Air Force Academy. I'd love to get a reaction shot if he scores.
Yes, that would be quite entertaining.
Yes, it will be. He apparently is this one. I don't know where had plenty of time on the shot clock. I don't know what that was all about, but anyway, Air Force reloads and comes the other way.
It's like Fisher Pruitt, middle of the pool, going down.
Haven't had a chance to talk about him very much. He did play a little bit last week, and I think he scored.
Yes, he hasn't got much play time, but I'm glad to see him out there,
Absolutely.
getting the reps that's needed to improve at this level. Second ejection drawn by Colin Chase. Trevor Zimlick passing it into him.
I don't think we'll see much time here on trying to get that power play goal. It's usually catch, a couple of passes, then bang.
Yes, well, our coaching staff always encourages us to work quick when we get those power plays. And if we don't, we move it around and work for our posts. As there, looks like a
turnover.
Looks like a 2 hands on the ball.
I am amazed when I watch you all practice how you make the catches and the throws with one hand. I mean, that is amazing.
Just something that you practice, you get used to, get good at. It's a very unique sport. That's why I've loved it so much. So
there is no doubt. There is no doubt. There he is. There's Ben LeClaire with a touch. He tries to work his way around. Shot clock expires. And it will be Air Force ball. They'll waste no time with a long pass down the pool. Tries to dump it off to the left side, but a little bit too long. It'll be retrieved by LIU.
Pass is taken away by Long Island.
It's like Matt Kwan was looking for Fisher Pruitt on that cross pass over towards the 1 position, but not successful. And that's a new thing you don't see all the time, an in-game substitution, which has been introduced. And then looks like a dump by Long Island.
Makes it Air Force ball.
That was an
Trevor
interesting
Zimlick with the
pass.
ball, and then over to Fisher Pruitt, and shoots, blocked, and he's keeping on trying. Can't get it to go. Long Island ball.
That last pass almost went into the weight room. Again, keep in mind that these are predominantly a lot of freshmen in the pool now for Air Force. 8-4 is the score. Falcons lead.
And yes, and I believe, if I'm not incorrect, that this is Long Island's first year playing, trying to institute a new team, and we've graciously accepted some games with them to try and get them to that minimum game count. And it's always great to see water polo spreading across the nation, as it's been a California-dominated sport, but it's moving, and hopefully it gets bigger. And it looks like a 5-meter drawn by Matt Kwan.
All right, let's see who will wind up taking the shot on the 5-meter violation.
Colin Chase will be taking the 5-minute penalty.
Looks like Colin Chase will take this 5-meter penalty.
Waiting for the whistle. There's the shot, and
Shot off crossbar and
goes
out.
off to left.
Long Island ball.
As we mentioned, a lot of 4th-classmen in the pool and learning about life on the hill, the military lifestyle, and all the other things that go with it, and throwing in a little water polo to match. Basically, at the academy, I think, Dylan, it's classes in the morning and then basically practice and recreation in the afternoon, and then it's homework at night.
Yes, and sometimes even practice in the morning. We have AM practices for 2 hours. Right now, we just moved to hitting the weight room in the morning, and then we got to head off to classes and then be right back down here after them.
Not for everyone, folks. Joe Sabo with a nice clear. 1:56 left to go in the 3rd period.
Hey, look at that. A nice backhand shot by Colin Chase. I remember during Navy he had a spectacular backhand shot that went double bar and in, bringing some fresh energy to the Falcons squad.
That's the first goal of the half, the second half. Somebody about ready to call a timeout? No, I'm not sure that's the case. So Colin Chase, who just scored, will now come to the sideline here to our right. From a critical standpoint, I mean, from your standpoint, Dylan, what are you seeing out here from the play from the underclassmen in the game in general?
You know, I'm seeing a lot of good stuff. One of our main focuses is the counterattack. Obviously, we implemented that very hard press to counter, and they're doing a very good job filling out that bottom line and looking for those counter goals, and if not, looking for their center, getting it into him and hoping for an ejection or a goal. A nice defensive play by the Falcons as well.
And Kwan takes it away, gives it to Joe Sabo, and Joe will get the offense going. Nice pass. They may have a look at a shot. Nice block by the goalie.
Number 17 to a show, a block by one. Ethan serve. Air Force recovers the ball. Over.
66 seconds left to play in period number 3. Falcons lead at 9-4. Working that ball around to the 2 spot. And going a little wide.
Just wide of the cage.
Yes, like I stated earlier, the experience of an in-game and playing D1 level, it's definitely monumental in your improvement. And so getting them out there, you know, taking a shot in practice is a lot different than taking a shot in a game. So as much experience as they can get, it's going to benefit this young squad a great deal.
Absolutely. I'm sure we have quite a few members of the fourth class. Some of the families might be watching our broadcast, so it's good to give them a little airtime, give them a little mention as the third period comes to a close with the Falcons lead by the score of 9-4. 1 goal scored in the third quarter. We'll be back with the final 8 minutes when we return right after this. Or are we about oh, I'm sorry, we still have 12 seconds. Trying to jump the gun a little bit.
But it does look like Joe Sabo will hold it out. And
I'll guarantee I'll be right in 3 seconds. There you go. At the end of 3 periods of play, only 1 goal scored in the second half. That by Air Force. They lead at 9-4. You're watching Air Force Water Polo. This is Falcon Nation. Starting the final 8 minutes here at the Cadet Natatorium at the United States Air Force Academy, with the Falcons leading.
We're coming back on camera 1.
I'm Jeffrey Orman along with Dylan Sinclair. Also sent out a shout out to Larson McCarroll with helping with the broadcast in the first quarter. Certainly Joe Sabo having a very strong game in the net. Bruce Kim leading all scorers with 3, I believe. And so here we go with the final 8 minutes.
Let's give it up for your Falcons.
All right, as we start the final 8 minutes, what do we look for here, Dylan?
Well, obviously, just the Falcons finishing it out strong, not giving up their lead. Hopefully putting a few more goals away while playing some strong defense. And if we see that, I think it's a successful game for this young Falcon crew.
Shut them out in the third period.
Yes.
Bruce Kim gets the sprint.
Hopefully they can shut them out in this fourth period as well. I know Coach Brown loves to see good defense. So if these younger guys are looking for the chance to shine, that's where it starts.
Falcons only trailed, by my count, once in this match, and that was in the opening goal. Long Island scored to make it 1-0. The Falcons have just pretty much taken it over from then, even though it's only a 9-4 game.
Yes, I believe you are correct.
Long Island in possession of the ball. A chance to see the future in the pool for Air Force. Trying to work his way. It looks like Joe Sabo might get some business. And the shot to score.
And a shot is scored by number 2, Logan Morgan.
Looks like Logan Morgan for LIU with a turn, move, and goal. Nice inside turn.
That is the first goal scored by the Sharks since the second period. 9-5 to score. The Falcons' team low this year has been 10 goals. They'll get past that. It'll be a low-scoring affair. But more importantly, you get a chance to see everybody. You get to see the future and everything like that. We talked about that so many times. And
Looks like a power play by Jake Dixon. Passed in by Bruce Kim. See some 6-on-5 action. And pass to the post from Fisher Pruitt to Colin Chase. Nice pass and finish that down there for that power play conversion.
10-5. So the Falcons go up 10-5 here in the fourth quarter. Falcons trying to draw a foul. All right, here we go. And there's a shot that's blocked away by Joe Sabo. Amy Leclerc's brother Ben with the shot. I wonder if she coaches him at all.
And that's a simulation call on number 5, Jake Dixon.
Ben Leclerc, story that I got from his sister Amy. It was recommended by one of the Air Force water polo coaches that he go to LIU. So he might have had thoughts about maybe coming here, but they said, no, you want to go to Long Island University, new program, and a chance for you to play. So he took the recommendation, and here he is. He is a freshman at Long Island University, and I believe Coach Suarez wants to talk about it. So we'll take a break as well. 5:58 left to go in the match. 10-5 Air Force. You're watching Air Force Academy Water Polo. This is Falcon Vision. You got to look at Ben Sinclair. He's the one wearing the number 13 cap for Long Island University. We've already told you that his sister Amy, who is, I believe, a second classman, if I'm not mistaken, is here at the United States Air Force Academy. So if he scores, we may get a shot of Amy and her reaction. That's my brother out there. He had 1 goal and an assist in the first game. Air Force coaches continue to move people around, as it were, Dylan.
Yes, getting everyone in the correct positions. Looks like an over-the-top press run by the young team for Air Force.
Goalie coming out and putting the ball in play.
It's like a turn move by number 2, going in, shot off the crossbar and out. And a Bruce
We could get a
Kim
nice one-on-one
nobody.
here. Let's see if Bruce is going to let fly. And he does, and he scores.
Yes, yet another goal by freshman Bruce Kim. Nice bar down, one on nobody.
Bruce Kim with goal number 4 as we have it unofficially. We'll have a player of the game. And Dylan, this may be a tough call. We're certainly looking at Bruce Kim, but I'm not sure Joe Sabo doesn't get a little bit of love here tonight. So he's been playing a pretty good game in the net.
Yes, no, he's been stopping the ball quite a bit and showing out here when he gets the chance. Yeah, some great play by Joe Sabo.
We may have you cast the deciding vote, Dylan. What do you mean you didn't pick me for the player of that game? Yeah, a little.
Well, we'll see how these last 5 minutes play out. Maybe that'll be the deciding factor.
4 seconds, 3 seconds, and that goes high, wide, and handsome. So.
Excuse me, Ben LeClaire, deflected by 1B, Joe Sabo. Long Island have the ball.
So we'll see how things work out here. 4:54 left to go. It's been a quiet second half. It was 8-4 at the intermission. It's 11-5 now. How about this team the rest of the way, Dylan? I mean, once you get past all the tournaments and really start getting into the Western Water Polo Association competition, how about this team the rest of the way? What are you seeing?
Well, you know, our conference is always a competitive one for sure. Always some close games to offer. If we come out strong and tenacious to take those wins, I think we could have a very successful year. But that all depends on us. We need to work hard and be determined to play in those conference games.
Tell you one thing, the league favorite comes here. UC Davis, I believe, comes here, and I've got to believe you're going to be frothing at the mouth when that happens. I mean, they're almost the unanimous choice to win the WWPA regular season title, and they play here.
Yeah. Yes, we always love having those tough opponents here because at this elevation, I mean, it says right below us that the air is rare, and that's certainly true. So we love to be here, train here, and have games here. So when they come out, we'll be ready to play, certainly.
I'll tell you this, Dylan. In the last 2 years, there's another block by Joe Sabo. I'll tell you one thing, the record you have built up here at the Natatorium in the last 2 seasons, that's been very impressive. Undefeated last year at home, only 1 loss here at home. And the Natatorium, you talk about this is our house. I think the Falcons have certainly underscored that.
Yes, I remember very vividly last year our upset against UCSD here. A tremendous victory for us. We played our hearts out. And yes, hopefully we can upset that number 1 seed this year as well. Take down UC Davis here on home turf.
That would be a great match. Tried a try, and that didn't work, so.
Pass tipped away, covered by Long Island.
Now Long Island will have to start moving. Not really a sense of urgency yet, but then again, maybe it is, with a trailing by 6 goals. They're going to have to start putting some past Joe Sabo, and I think he's had a very strong game today.
Yes, certainly. And I know that 3-game feeling in one day, so some general fatigue out there. Looks like a run out of the shot clock and back to Air Force ball.
Getting note that Joe Sabo's father, Stephen, is a graduate of the Academy. 1987, 35th year reunion.
Nice over-the-top pass to Matthew Kwan from Thomas Newell. Converting. Nice little skip to the right side of the cage. 12-5. Air Force in the lead.
Matthew Kwan with a goal. 2 minutes remaining. Well, Stephen, I will tell you this, sir. Joe is playing a pretty darn good game there in the pipes. Had a shutout in the third period. Enjoy the reunion. Here's a feed down low and knocked away. Let's see if the Falcons could add a little extra gravy on here as they have a 7-goal lead.
Looks like a shot by Trevor Zimlick. Ethan Zerr for Long Island knocks that away. Coming up on a minute left in the fourth quarter.
So the Falcons will win their 16th game of the year against only 4 setbacks. And of course tomorrow against Augustana, they'll have a chance to tie last year's record. And does this team have a chance to win 20? Yes, it does.
Yes, I believe we will surpass that 20-win season this year. It's looking to be that way, so as long as we keep on playing well, come off some good wins. As I said last week against Navy, always great to beat our rivalry, and then some good wins this weekend.
Dylan, that might have been one of the greatest sporting events I've seen in any sport. It had everything. What a great endorsement for the sport of water polo, even if you didn't know anything about it. Just listen to that crowd. There's a shot and a score.
Yeah, certainly. That was one of the most fun games I've ever played in. Great crowd. Got to see the full force of the cadets here at the United States Air Force Academy. Just a tremendous environment, tremendous win. And no other fashion I'd like to beat Navy and then a golden goal W. And looking like a closing out for 12-6 as Joe Sabo holds onto the ball.
I think Joe was just going to try and freeze it for 19 seconds. So the Falcons will win this one by the score of 12-6. And as a result, they will go to 16-4, and they win the first 3 games of the Rare Air Invite. Coming up next, our post-game show. We'll have that for you when we return right after this. You're watching Air Force Water Polo. This is Falcon Vision. Back once again here at the Cadet Natatorium as day number 1 of the Rare Air Invite comes to a close as the Air Force Academy Falcons score a 12-6 victory over Long Island University. Player of the game, the man who started in the goal, Joe Sabo, my broadcast partner, as a matter of fact. Joe, congratulations. Nice win tonight.
Thank you, Jeff.
What was the story?
Well, it was that team was a lot easier for us. You saw a lot of our starters were benched, working the desk and whatnot, so it gave a lot of opportunity to a lot of the younger guys, as well as myself, to step up and get some time in the cage and in the pool.
And everybody came through, and I know you and I have talked about that numerous times through the broadcast. You, the underclassmen, really have to step up, and certainly you're losing a pretty good 23 class. But I'm telling you what, the more I watch the underclassmen, I get more impressed every time.
Yes, sir. You saw that we put up a pretty well performance, especially on defense. I really was trying to get them to be motivated on defense, press hard, crash back fast, and they really did that.
Yeah.
We could improve on offense, but that all comes with time, and with that time we got in that game, we should be improving pretty well.
Well, the obvious thing is the defense keys the offense, Jones.
Indeed, indeed.
I want to make a note here. I met your parents, and I guess your father, Stephen, is a graduate here of the United States Air Force Academy. He's here for a reunion, is he not?
Yes, sir. He's having a great time here. It's great to see him. I got to see him on family weekend as well, my parent weekend as well, so that was great. And it's great to take him around campus, back to his old squad, because I'm in his old squad right now.
Oh,
and have him meet a lot of my buddies, and my parents and my sister are out here as well, so it's great. Great times.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a very nice Saturday, Joe. Congratulations, and go get them tomorrow.
Thank you, Jeff.
Joe Sabo, our player of the game, as the Air Force Academy Falcons defeat Long Island by the score of 12-6. I would also be remiss if I didn't mention that Joe had a shutout in the third quarter, so I just wanted to throw that out there, Joe. So I just another feather in the cap. So that wraps it up here from the Cadet Natatorium. Our very special thanks to our Falcon Vision crew, Tim Saratori, Adam Napick, Kurt Boddicker, Brian German, our commentators today, Dylan Sinclair, Larson McLaren, and for our entire cast and crew, we'll do it again tomorrow morning at 10:30 as the Falcons will be taking on Augustana College from Rock Island, Illinois, as water polo goes to the Midwest. Until then, from the Cadet Natatorium, I'm Jeffrey Orman bidding you a pleasant good afternoon.